A few months after a brutal hurricane season hit Florida, my parents thought the worst was finally over. Their house survived, mostly, but the roof got destroyed. Shingles ripped off, water damage everywhere, parts of the ceiling leaking every time it rained. Insurance covered most of it, so my dad decided if they were replacing the roof anyway, they might as well upgrade to something better. That's when they chose a modern metal roof. It was stronger, more energy efficient, better during storms. And honestly, it looked really good. My dad spent weeks researching contractors, permits, and materials because he's one of those people who treats every purchase like a military operation. The only problem? Their HOA still had a rule from the 1980s banning metal roofs. Back when people thought metal roof meant rusty trailer park sheet metal. My parents tried doing everything the right way first. They called the HOA, explained the situation, asked for approval. At first, the HOA acted friendly. They said multiple homeowners had requested the same thing and promised they'd look into updating the policy. Weeks passed. Nothing happened. My parents followed up again. Still nothing. Meanwhile, their damaged roof sat covered by a tarp, while Florida storms kept rolling through. After almost 2 months of getting ignored, my dad finally said, "Screw it. We're doing the roof." So the contractors installed it. And honestly, the neighborhood loved it. Several neighbors even came over asking where they got it done because it looked better than most of the houses around them. That's when the HOA completely lost their minds. Apparently, the neighborhood entrance sign had also been damaged during the hurricanes, and the HOA board needed money for repairs. So instead of handling it like normal people, they started hunting for violations to fine residents over. And my parents became their jackpot. A week after the roof was finished, my parents received a certified letter from the HOA demanding $25,000 in fines, immediate roof removal, and possible legal action if they refused. My mom was devastated. She's one of those rule-following, conflict-avoiding people who get stressed returning the wrong order at restaurants. For weeks, she barely slept. Meanwhile, my dad? Complete opposite. Former Navy. Contract negotiator. The type of man who gets calmer when things become a fight. The second he read that letter, he literally smiled. Then he said, "Oh, these idiots want to play games." And that's when the revenge started. While my dad researched laws and contracts, my mom quietly started talking to neighbors. And the more she talked to people, the more they realized everyone hated the HOA board. The board constantly targeted residents, issued ridiculous fines, ignored repairs, wasted HOA money, and acted like dictators. Meanwhile, my dad discovered something beautiful. Florida law. Turns out, HOAs in Florida legally cannot block eco-friendly home improvements. And because modern metal roofs improve energy efficiency and passive solar reflection, the HOA had absolutely no legal ground to stand on. Even better, the roofing company had dealt with this exact situation before. They handed my dad legal paperwork from previous lawsuits where HOAs lost in court and had to pay massive attorney fees. Now the power completely shifted. A few weeks later, the HOA scheduled a public hearing. Basically a neighborhood humiliation session where the board planned to publicly pressure my parents into compliance. The room was packed, and the HOA board walked in acting smug as hell. They genuinely thought this was going to be easy. Then my sweet little mother stood up. Calm, polite, smiling, and absolutely destroyed them. She explained that state law overruled the HOA policy completely. Then she handed them the legal documents. The entire board went silent. One of them finally muttered, "Is that all?" And that's when my mom hit them with the real bomb. Because while Dad handled the legal side, my mother had spent weeks organizing the neighborhood behind the scenes. She smiled sweetly and said, "Actually, no." Then she opened the HOA bylaws. Turns out, homeowners could vote to remove board members during public meetings. And my mother had already convinced most of the neighborhood to show up. Right there in the meeting, she motioned to impeach the entire HOA board. Every single one of them. Then, she nominated replacements, including my father. The room erupted. People immediately started voting. And within 1 hour, the entire HOA board was removed from power. Every single one. The same people who tried extorting my parents for $25,000 were suddenly sitting there shocked while losing their positions in front of the entire neighborhood. And the best part? My parents won completely. The roof stayed, the fines disappeared, the HOA rules got updated, and metal roofs became fully allowed throughout the neighborhood. Now my dad literally helps run the hoe, and every time someone drives past that beautiful metal roof, it reminds the old hoe board of the day they picked the wrong retired Navy dad to mess with.